Today, the 17th, and I'm at Mom's in South Haven today. And as I've been doing lately, starting off with a song, and let me see the name of the song here. It's called A Prayer. It's very beautiful. It's by Omkara and Gautama. And any case, I hope you enjoy it. And right after the song, we'll meditate together. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you.
Ashamed of the presence of the Holy Spirit, nor feel the need to defend yourself in any personal way. May your trust be great, your heart full of love, and may you carry the perfume of the Lord's presence. May your trust be great, your heart full of love, and may you carry the perfume of the Lord's presence wherever you go. Wherever you go. This is the prayer that I make for you. In the name of the Holy Spirit of God. This is the prayer that I make for you. In the name of the Holy Spirit of God. So be it. Shanti, 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 Om. Shanti, 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 Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti,
Hope you enjoyed the song. It's called A Prayer, and It's part of the Muji music that I listen to, and I really enjoy it a lot. It's a great way to start off of just kind of getting us rooted in our hearts. So thank you for joining me this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm at Mom's in South Haven today, and feeling, as I have been lately, feeling a bit vulnerable with just, I think, my heart ready to open more and more. And being around Mom and seeing her vulnerability in different ways as she's struggling to get around more. So just invite you, if you're open for it, just to send some love and blessings her way. So yeah, let's meditate, and let's just enjoy the kind of the space that the music has created in opening our hearts and opening our minds, and helping us to be vulnerable in a good way, where we're vulnerable to just allowing our hearts to be exposed. And sometimes that is vulnerable and scary. And sometimes we spend so much time trying to protect ourselves and trying to just create life in a way that we think we need it to be. And I was reading A Course in Miracles this morning, and it reminded me, what is there to protect? Are we in alignment with God's will, or are we going with our own will? Because when I'm in alignment with, in whatever word works for you, I say God, but whatever word works for you, if you have a higher source, whatever that is, or if you don't, that's fine too. But when we really put our trust in life and in God, what is there to protect? Do we not trust that God is on our side, that life is on our side? And I know so many times that we've had experiences where it's brought up such hurt and pain. And so sometimes we set up boundaries to keep us from ever having that experience again. And those boundaries were very much necessary, and for some are still necessary. Because sometimes we have to learn how to set boundaries before we can go to the next step, and that is letting go of all boundaries. And this is what A Course in Miracles was speaking of, showing this morning, in that when we truly trust and align with the Creator, what boundaries do we need to create? Does God not bring us, does life not bring us exactly what we need and when we need it? And my teacher, Maharishi Sadashiva Asham, he didn't take on disciples. He didn't believe in that, which is neither here nor there, I guess. But he wanted people to know that we're all the same. That was his message, that there's nothing he has that you or I don't have. And he said that the path of the sage is ruthless. There simply are no boundaries. I have found for myself that as my heart opens, as my mind opens, and as I deepen my faith and trust in the will of God, then there's nothing to protect. And I literally give permission to God to bring whatever God wants to bring to me. And if it's something that my mind or my small self might judge as bad, I know in my heart that there's a reason for it. Even the worst of experiences, I have a trust and faith that it's all exactly the way it needs to be. And there's something for me to learn. And when I first gave up all boundaries, maybe a couple years ago, it felt scary and vulnerable, because I thought, oh my God, then, I could get in a car accident, or maybe Laura or Maverick, my son and wife, maybe something would happen to them. And so I had all these fears that came up. And in the end, it has only offered me more freedom to connect and be the truth of who I am. And so I share this with you to offer that same freedom. So I'm inviting you right now in this meditation, just for this meditation. If you want to continue on, absolutely, please do so. But for this meditation, I'm inviting you to let go of all boundaries and all your mental protections that you have put up. And just explore, at least for this meditation, to really feel what it feels like to rest in the arms of God. That's, of course, a metaphor. To just rest in the symbolic hands of God. To just surrender into that space. And to know ultimately that is the greatest safety of all, when we fully give our lives over to creation itself, to life itself. And to me, what that looks like is fully giving myself over to peace, fully giving myself over to freedom, fully giving myself over to love, to the love of God, to the love and truth of who I am, and to the love of life itself. And to fully give myself over to joy, or I like to say to fully give myself over to the bliss of God. It's so easy to be trapped in the mind and everything that the mind has convinced us is right and true. But right now, I'm just inviting you to let go of all of those beliefs, all those things that you have bought into as the truth. And quite honestly, even if it is the truth, just empty it all out. Empty so completely out that the only thing that can remain is the truth of who you are. We do these meditations, and I'm so grateful for you joining me. We do these meditations about emptying out, really just over and over. And for me, it never gets old, it never feels repetitive, because I know that every time I'm practicing emptying out with you, I let go of a little bit more of the illusion and belief of who I think I am. And I'm grateful that you join me, that you too have an openness and a willingness to empty out so fully and so completely that all that remains is you. The one thing you can never ever get rid of, your true self. That is intimately and beautifully woven into the threads of God itself. And we are not separate from that energy of love, of peace, of joy, of truth. But in order to really not only access that truth, but to be that truth, we have to empty out all the truths that the mind has concocted. Because even as we speak right now, there are all kinds of political parties claiming that they know the truth. But the more I dive into the truth of who I am, I see that neither or none of the parties are really right. None of the parties are right in the aspect that there's blame and judgment that the other party is wrong, and that keeps us rooted in the mind. It keeps us being a slave to the mind, and consequently we take all these actions to try to correct their line of thinking. But true freedom means that we take 100% responsibility for our life. That everything outside of us is being brought to us, is our reality based on what our current beliefs are. So if you want to change your reality, you must first change your beliefs. And that's what we're up to. Letting go of all these old beliefs, these old patterns of thinking, these limited thoughts that have kept us locked into an illusion as to who we are and as to who we are supposed to be and as to who everyone else is supposed to be and how they're supposed to be and how the world is supposed to be. You see, as long as we stay locked into the illusion and we continue to believe the thoughts of the mind, we are only part of the craziness of the world. But the good news is that it truly doesn't matter what's happening outside of yourself. And that peace and freedom and joy and love are still ours for the taking if we let go of all the conditioning that we have lined ourselves up with from the past. So I invite you to let go of all the past. Certainly all the shame and guilt and blame that you've carried on for way too long. We all have. But also letting go of just any beliefs and judgments that we've hooked onto because of past experiences. We don't need to carry those forward. We truly do not need to carry those forward. So at least for this meditation, I invite you just to let go of those, empty out. I'm not asking you to believe anything that I share. I am not trying to convince you or persuade you in any way. I'm just simply inviting you to take a walk with me on an exploration, an adventure of possibilities, a possibility of freedom, true freedom. Freedom is not an idea, a belief. It's moving beyond the mind and all the thoughts and beliefs of the mind that have trapped us into the world of duality of good and bad. And it's only when we move beyond that that we can truly experience freedom or peace or true joy and true love. Yes, We've all had experiences of peace at times and joy of times and love at times, but I'm not talking about a temporary state of being. I'm talking about the eternal truth of who you are and who I am. One that transcends all the beliefs and thoughts and transcends the mind, but transcends the physical body as well. Because there, in the core truth of who you are, there is nothing physical about you whatsoever. Nothing. The physical will all pass away sometime. Your true self remains always. It has always been you. It will always be you. You cannot empty out all these things that we're emptying out and ever get rid of the truth of who you are, the formless truth of who you are. And sometimes when I'm doing these meditations, leading them, I feel my attachment. I feel my attachment to have the right words, the right message, the right vibration, the right amount of love and joy, so that you may really awaken and experience that beautiful truth of who you are. But I know that I too have to let go of all of my attachments, all of my desires. And I invite you right now just to empty out, let go of your attachments, your desires. It was once said that I read that desires are the source of all stress, which also is in alignment with stress is wanting life to be different than what it is. Because when we have desires and we have attachments that are all of the mind, by the way, because our core self is rooted in love, it's rooted in peace and joy, and it needs nothing. And it does not need anything to be any different than what it is. But our mind wants all kinds of things. And so it's busy. The mind gets busy trying to figure out the solutions of how to be happy. Okay, what do I need to do to earn more money? How can I get the right job? What is it that I'm really here for? And there's nothing wrong with any of it, particularly when you're asking the question, what am I really here for? Because that leads you to return to the truth of who you are. But still, all these desires and all these attachments all come from the mind. And when you let go of your attachments and desires, then you can find a stillness begins to fall over you. A stillness that is not looking to the mind for solutions, is not looking for something outside of yourself to be happy, to be at peace, to be in love. All those things are all external and will all someday fall away. We are not looking for those for joy. We are looking for a sustaining joy, a sustaining love and peace and truth. In truth, there is not one single thing that is wrong with you, not one single thing that needs to be fixed or changed about you or about anyone else or anything else. Those are all simply of the mind. And the more you can let go and empty out, the more you stop looking to your mind for the answers. That you stop looking for the mind for happiness that is all outside of yourself. And the mind begins to fall still. Why? Because the mind takes its natural and true place, which is our servant, not our master. And when I tell you that you are beautiful and that you are whole and you are complete, if you were rooted in your true self, it would be unnecessary words. But I just simply say that to the small self. And I invite you right now to let go of all the ideas, all the thoughts, all the beliefs of who you think you are, all the labels, all the conditioning that you have become. Because you are beyond any belief and concept or idea of who you are. And when you let go of these things, when you empty out, it is then that you get perhaps a glimpse of the truth of who you are. And even a glimpse helps to free you up in unimaginable ways. And I literally mean unimaginable. Because when you empty out so completely and all that's left is you, perhaps for the first time in your life, you say, "Oh my God, I had no idea of who I truly am." So I'm inviting you to go for a walk with me. Let's just walk down this path of exploration that leads us to this beautiful temple. The temple of truth. The temple of love. The temple of peace. The temple of joy. The temple of I am. Simply the isness and the truth and pure beingness of who you are. But the irony is, as you walk down this path to this temple and you stand at the temple doors, the ultimate realization is that you were never standing outside of the temple. It was only a belief and idea that you were ever outside of the temple of truth. That you were outside of the peace, love, and joy that you already are. That is you right now in this very moment. And in every present moment. Again, it has never left you. It will never leave you. It is you. But I invite your small self. I invite your small self to open up the temple of I am. Open up the doors and walk in and just not only be with it, but be it. And if there are any beliefs, any stress, any heaviness, any ideas or thoughts that get in the way of you walking into this temple and being this temple, I invite you just to either let those go or at least set them to the side for right now. And if you want to pick them up after the meditation, please do so. I guess ironic, or I'm not sure the best word for it, that we have been searching for so long to find true joy. And the irony is that we have always, always, always been that truth. And it's okay. Seeking is an important part of our life journey. My mantra for so long was a verse out of the Bible: seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all else shall be added unto you. And even as I speak these words, it touches my heart so deeply of my gratitude for those words. Because I feel good, and I don't want to come from the ego, but I feel good that I've for a long time have lived from a place of following that truth. Not following the money path, not following any other path, but just to say, Father, I don't want anything else but you, and I trust and have faith that you will provide everything that I need and when I need it. And so there comes a point in time, though, that we even have to let go of the seeking and just be that truth that we have always sought after. But it doesn't mean you have to stop seeking. I'm just inviting you for this meditation, because when the time comes, you will find that you are no longer needing to seek. That you will discover that you are the one that you've always been seeking. So just for this meditation, I'm inviting you to let go of waiting for something else to happen in order to experience the truth of who you are. Just let go of the waiting. Let go of this belief that you have to learn something else in order to awaken. That is a myth. It will never be another piece of knowledge that you gain that awakens you to the truth of who you are. It will, however, be something that you let go of, that you thought you knew the truth of. There's the song by CeeLo that I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember the exact words, but he said something to the effect that what is it? You really think you're in control? I may be crazy. You may be crazy. So he, in that song, he speaks of it. It's not he's not awakened because he doesn't know enough, but because he knows too much. And that is the truth. It's not because we don't know enough, it's because we know too much, or we think we know the answers. But it's in letting go of all the things that we think we know, that we think we know what the truth is, that gets in the way of just being the truth, that is empty and is innocent and humble. And it's not about knowing anything. It's about being that which you are. The isness, the I amness. And the funny thing is, when we knock on the temple of I am, We knock on the doors of the temple. And then there's actually, I think Rumi says it, you open the doors only to realize that you are already in the temple. You are, I don't know if the word uses the word temple, but you were already in that which you were looking for. And that is the truth. So I also want to come back to, not only do you not have to learn anything more to awaken to the truth of who you are, you don't have to perform any duties or any amazing feats or save the world or do something spectacular. No, there's nothing else you need to do. You do not need to earn your way into heaven. And when we say heaven, we're just meaning that state that is beyond the mind, that is beyond beliefs, that is beyond the suffering, that all comes from the mind. You do not need to do anything to earn the truth of who you are. You are that truth. You are that truth. And there's nothing you need to do to earn back the truth of who you already are. So right now I just invite you to come back to being aware of your breath. And as always I say, you don't need to do anything with the breath. It happens all by itself. All you're doing is simply witnessing the breath. And to witness something, it means without judgment. You're just being objective. There's no judgment. You're just simply noticing it. You're just simply being aware of it. Likewise, as you are witnessing the breath, there may be thoughts that come into your mind, come from your mind actually. And when they do, it doesn't matter whether you have one thought or a million thoughts. It doesn't matter, because those thoughts are not who you are. You are the one witnessing the thought. You are the one witnessing the breath, witnessing the beliefs, witnessing the feelings, witnessing the body, witnessing the mind, witnessing the experiences, and witnessing the five senses. That's you. You are the witness of all of it. Formless emptiness, pure formless beauty that is witnessing all of life. So when a thought comes in, there's nothing you need to do with it. And you will learn this more in life as well. As you realize you are not your thoughts, you will walk along your path during the day as life is happening. And anytime you have stress, you begin to recognize, oh, I'm not that stress. I am not the thought or belief behind that stress. That's just the mind being busy, and it's okay. I don't need to fight in it. I don't need to change anything. I don't need to fix it. It's just the mind being busy. And as soon as you notice it, just come back to being aware of the moment. Be aware of the breath if you want during the day as well, which always brings you back to the present moment, because it brings you back to the witness, the observer, the one being aware. You are loving conscious awareness, as Ram Dass would say. So just again, coming back to being aware of your breath. Just Nothing to fight against at all. I invite you to let go of all resistance to whatever the mind has to say, to whatever life has to offer. Just letting go of all resistance and just allow yourself to just be, just witnessing it, just watching it, perfectly unfolding, perfectly providing everything it needs to in your life and in the world, so that we can continue to let go of that which we are not, so that we can discover that which we are. Divine perfection, whole, complete freedom and beauty. And again, just coming back to witnessing the breath. And if your mind has drifted, just allow the thoughts to just gently, effortlessly pass on by. And just like a gentle breeze, you wouldn't fight the breeze or try to get rid of it or make it bad or wrong. You just allow it to gently and effortlessly pass on by. And then come back to bringing your conscious awareness to your breath. And if your mind has drifted, again, just coming back to the present moment, which is simply being consciously aware of your breath, which brings you home to who you are, the one who is consciously aware. And again, just coming back to being aware of your breath. And we're going to begin to bring the meditation to a completion. So those of you who would like to continue meditating, please either mute or turn the device off. And thank you so much for joining me. Those of you who are ready to finish, just taking in a nice deep breath. Making sure you're fully rooted, grounded back in your physical body. And just moving your body a little bit, doing a little stretching, which always feels so good after sitting. And taking your time, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. Well, thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Thank you. I really enjoyed that meditation. I hope you did. And just looking on here, it looks like Sharon, Michelle, and my sister. And for Sharon and Michelle, my sister's, she's got Kuhn in there, Debbie Kuhn Maynard, yeah. So, any case, glad, and I know there's somebody on YouTube. I always appreciate, thank you so much for putting comments on there as to who, I like to know who's meditating with me. Some people want to just stay anonymous, and that is absolutely perfect. But I also welcome comments when you had a good experience, or if you say, hey, a question, or you didn't like something, I'd like to know about that too, just so I can improve on the meditation, take a look within myself. So thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. I've got a talk tomorrow at Unity of Grand Rapids. I don't know if it'll be on Zoom and Facebook if anyone's interested. It's at 10 o'clock. Should be live streaming then. So thank you. Have a blessed day, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.